one of the mystics, let's just say one of the mystic asks, Cosmic, do you have anything about stopping watching the dirty movies? You have to see what are you really watching, first of all. When we're watching the movies, we're watching this illusion of what many men and women desire. Sex, right? Hanky-panky parties. When you don't love yourself, you're going to want to, let's just say it, get hanky-panky. Tickle the pickle, spank the mango, spank the manky, scratch the kitty, whatever you want to call it, okay? Now, because many mystics cannot get the sex, the next best thing is to self-stimulate, right? Oh, not next best. The next option would be that since you like, okay, I can't get none, at least I got my hand or whatever, right? Now you have to see why. Why do you want to feel like this? Okay? When we watch the hanky-panky movie, we're oftentimes self-stimulating or want that feeling or like or have a desire for that. Because it's another stimulant. It's another programming, but it's more toxic than most programming because it drains you. It drains your sacral energy. It drains your sacred fluid. Let's just be more clear here. Let's keep it simple. We self-stimulate because we want to feel good. Simply put. You watch the movie, the dirty movie. You play with yourself because you want to feel the goodness of the climax. When you do this, it's like about maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Shorter or longer, it doesn't last very long because you're chasing the high of the goodness. And if you're bored, whatever excuse that it is, it will keep you bored. You get bored easily because you're using your energy in a way where it doesn't flow. You let it out, blah. When you watch the movie, you start to look at people from the outside. You expect the man and women, the one that's desirable, to have the big one, right? The big one or whatever the heck you watch that you like. Because you don't love your damn self, simply put. And so you program yourself to look outside for love. When you self-stimulate, that's on the outside that you feel good. But when you go on the inside, there's no action that needs to be happening. You just learn to enjoy. But we get trapped and addicted to this. Why? It's designed that way. To be addicted to it. To chase the climax. But now as we mature, people do it less, but it's still an unhealthy habit. When you let it out, that thing that you let out is called the sacred fluid. Because that fluid created me. It created all the mystics. But when you let it out with low intention, you drain yourself, your sacral chakra. That's your mojo. Remember that movie Austin Power? Yeah, baby. Remember when Austin Power lost his mojo? That's most people who hanky-panky. They're flaccid life, like they sound like this and then they have low self-confidence and they have a lot of insecurity. Why? Because you're draining yourself. You're disrespecting your sexual energy is simply creative energy. It's what's possible to unlock your chakras. It's so powerful that it can open the chakras, but instead you let it out. From time to time you're not in your head, great. Now you're looking for fun. When you're looking for fun, it's because you're bored. You're bored because you're not creating. You're looking to just enjoy what other people are creating because you're disconnected from your sacral energy. Now, why don't they teach all the people this crap? Because the mainstream, there's a lot of ignorance, closed-mindedness. The guys behind closed doors, Or, they talk about butts. The girls do the same thing because this is like a borderline spiritual, right? Because this would interfere with many systems. The industry would be affected, the jobs there, and all this cycle of ignorance is there, and people don't want to hear this crap. They want to stay the same, the status quo. Simply close-mindedness and the lack of wisdom. And that's why Cosmic is passionate about what he does, because when we grow up as men, like I can speak for the men, the guys, we talk about the butts, we have our favorite porn stars or whatever, and the ladies have it too. It's part of this toxic culture, just like weed. Oh, it's just like weed. When you understand on an energetic, it is the same thing as weed. It drains you, it numbs you. Instead of using your creative energy, you just numb it. And oftentimes, people will smoke weed and do the hanky-panky. So would you recommend no dirty movies at all for addicts? Well, if you're addicted, reduce the amount. Remember, you're gonna be very uncomfortable. You need meditation and reduction. Watch your energy. So if you're like, when you get turned on and you want to watch a movie, recognize that this is all your ego, your mind. Your mind wants it, but you're not the mind. You're not the mind. When you learn to meditate, you reckon, my mind and my mind has activated me to be turned on to want this toxic habit. But you identify as just the observer of the desire. In the beginning, it's very hard to just do that, okay? So you would want to reduce the amount you watch and watch something that's not so, right? Watch something that's more gentle. And as a matter of fact, find a new activity to do, right? Eventually keep your clothes on, right? And eventually let it go. You have to replace with something. And oftentimes you will go to the Instagram and look at the models and all. That's better than watching the hanky-pankiness. That's better than what? Okay, so you want to slowly reduce that. And this may take you years. So don't expect it to be months. But if you come to the Mystic Village and study and learn and open your mind and take what the mystics in here say seriously, you want to make a plan to slowly reduce. You want to make it your mantra. I am free of the dirty movies. I am free. I am free of... I can be happy with just me. Exercise. The thing that helps the most, meditation and exercise. And when you exercise, raise your intensity. If you have a lot of hanky-panky energy, it means you have a lot of energy to put out that you're not using. So when you're at the gym, push on whatever you're doing a little more, because you have a lot of energy you need to use. If you have trouble sleeping, go to the gym. Use up all your energy. By the end of the day, you get sleepy. Cosmic is the same way. If he doesn't use all his energy, it's unhealthy. But because, and especially the people who have a higher sexual energy, you have potential to have a bright light. Like all this energy is from not self-stimulating, from reduced desire. Well, very little, right? That's why Cosmic can just go into this flow, because he's not letting it out. He's not watching this stuff that drains him. And that's why he can be focused for 3 hours so far. That's why he can be calm and composed when there's people who come in and they're passive aggressive and they judge you. Who gives a crap? We own ourselves. We know who we are because we have boundaries and we understand how the system works. And when we're clear about who we are, we learn how to use the masculine and feminine. We learn how to use our life. When we're still getting caught up in desires, life uses us. People use us for money. People see us for the outside. People only see you for your external beauty because you don't see yourself for your inner beauty. If you're lonely and you really want a relationship, here's how. Love your damn self first. Because when you love yourself, you become a rare bird. A rare bird is someone who's happy with him or herself, and they don't need the other birds because they know they're special, and they only will settle for special ones. There are basic birds everywhere, chirping. But the rare bird, if you want to find a long-lasting relationship, you must have one with yourself first. Now, don't love yourself to get a relationship, because that means you don't love yourself. You're doing it to get a relationship. It must be authentic, and you have to call yourself out on your own BS.